Almost 60 years ago, events in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin sparked off conflicting emotions as Jesse Owens confounded a regime and an obnoxious philosophy by winning 4 gold medals. Well, tonight in the same stadium at a different age, the prize is as alluring as Olympic gold for these two sides. The German team with a surprise selection, Stefan Freund playing on the left-hand side of defense, and normally the other side he's accustomed to. Jürgen Kohler, a little bit doubt about his fitness, but he's selected. Stefan Kuntz comes in place of Herrlich. A lot of experience in Kuntz, he's 33 years of age. Jürgen Klinsmann, of course, in the side, hoping to add to his tally of the number of goals he scored. His 7 goals to his credit at the moment. Bertie Vogts is a Berliner, and this is the first time he's led a German team into his home city. Wonderful setting, and here the Bulgarian side, they've only beaten the Germans 3 times in their history, but they've been significant victories. One will always recall that wonderful victory for theirs in the World Cup, and of course when they were 2 goals down to Germany in the first game and coming back to win by 3 goals to 2. Very strong side, almost at full strength. Yankov in midfield there from Erdingen. There actually are 4 of the players playing in the Bundesliga. Kostadinov is one of them, playing for Bayern. Stoichkov, of course, is now with Parma. And Penev playing in Spanish football. Balakov and Lechkov. Lechkov a great favourite with the Bulgarians and with the Hamburg supporters. He plays, of course, in the Bundesliga as well. The coach, Penev. Vasilios Nikakis, the Greek referee, about to start this game. Pitch in immaculate condition. Well, Bertie Vogts has had a lot of criticism. Certainly a lot more than that man there, Penev. Man second from the right. Germans not at all happy with some of the sides he's put out. Disappointed they didn't do better in the World Cup, of course. And so doubly determined to win this game. The group section, both have 22 points. Bulgarians at the top with their goal difference, of course. And the Germans, I'm quite sure, given their great record, still smarting with the memory, under the memory of that notable victory of the Bulgarians in that first game. On the far side, Marcus Babbel. Three Bayern players in the side, and Marcus Babbel is one of them. I think you'll see Lechkov working very hard in midfield. There he is. What you see about him is he does a lot of his work in midfield, then suddenly he pops up just outside the penalty area, and away he goes, either laying it off for somebody or going through himself. Backed up there by Emil Kremlov, the Levski player. Well, this German crowd, this Berlin crowd, seeing an international for the first time in a long while, seized by patriotic fervor. That's him, Lechkov, doing exactly what I thought as Kostadinov goes in. Well, he simply ran out of support inside him. Beautiful piece of play, and I think I mentioned the quality of Lechkov's play earlier on. Well, he pops up and demonstrates exactly what I was talking about. The burst from midfield and then slipping it forward for Kostadinov. And nobody beside him to the left-hand side. Bertie Vogts just a little bit anxious. You don't want to read too much into this because both teams have actually qualified. They've been handed a pre-Christmas gift. Now this must count now. Player going through there, Mario Basler, the Werder Bremen player, coming in place of Muller today for this game. So we're saying they're both qualified because of earlier results, but they are playing to top the section. That's their first priority tonight. Looked like a free kick on the far side. Babel goes down. Well, the Germans may have been criticised for falling off in the standard of the play in recent times, but you know, they always get it right at the right moment. They're very slow starters in competitions. Very often you've seen German teams in the World Cup and they look quite indifferent, and then they grow in confidence, in organisation, and suddenly that machine is ticking over beautifully by the time they get to the climax of a tournament. Just a little bit under that. And I think we may see something of that of the Germans in England. Tiring figure there of Thomas Helmer coming forward, one of the Bayern players. Again, great maturity there, just touching 31. And he's certainly going to be at the center of the German defense in England. Well away by Helmer. Thomas Hessler coming in, just a little bit slow. Stefan Kuntz, wonderful run forward there by Helmer. Now he's renowned for doing exactly that. We saw him in defense just a few seconds ago, but if he sees that corridor of opportunity, he flies down it very quickly, and suddenly there he was just outside the penalty area. Exactly there, but he came all of 30-40 yards to make that shot. No pressure on this German defense so far, although they know perfectly well about the pace of Kostadinov. And of course, Risto Stoichkov has been rather anonymous so far. Try to get as many players into the box as they can, as often as they can, but just a little bit too much crowding going on just now for the Germans. Basler with it. Isles tried to go in there. Beautifully punched away though. Dimitar Popov, he's only had 12 caps. Certainly lacking maturity, in the header by Klinsmann. Just driven away by Popov. They've actually weathered one or two storms, the Bulgarians, and are now beginning to string some passes together at long last. Like that, for example, that looked like a free kick. Nice little 1-2 there. And a yellow card. Yellow card is being produced, and it's Klinsmann. Well, I've said before that strikers should keep out of tackling situations. They really don't do it all that well, and down goes Emil Kostadinov. And that means that Klinsmann, by my reckoning, will miss the first game in England. 2 yellow cards to his name. Stoichkov. Oh, I've seen him do better than that. By the way, I do think it's a pretty ridiculous rule that when they're asking people to pay out handsomely to see the European finals, that some of the stars are not going to appear in the first games because of this ruling they have about bookings. Sammer. That looked like a free kick. And the referee booking Krasimir Balakov, well known in these parts, of course, now playing for Stuttgart and forming a very formidable partnership with Bobic there. Well, he actually had to make the tackle as Dieter Iltz went down. Well, what do you make that side out to be? Put the ball in the back of the net, I think. Thomas Hessler. Little Kobanat, good defending though, as Gunchov got that away. Again, one of the new caps. Oh, they love this little man, Thomas Hessler. There it is. Oh. The finish by Stefan Kuntz. And just about here, I was saying, or thinking of saying, goal. So near. The Germans have played all the aggressive and attacking football, and nothing to show for it so far. And still the ominous presence, the looming presence of Risto Stoichkov and Jordan Lech and Emil Kostadinov up front. Down goes Krasimir Balakov. Got that right on the knee, I think. Yes, I think they want to take him off. Some considerable agony. Yeah, Balakov's been working very hard in midfield, but the problem they have is a talented player like that has mostly been in the last third of the field, and that is with his back to goal. Some of these balls being put forward now rather speculative. Lechkov, look at the diagonal running of the front three men. They were running in three different angles there, making it difficult to defend. Nicely picked up by Babel. Way to go again. Kuntz puts it wide. Nicely floated ball there by Helmer. And every now and again, as I said, Helmer freeing himself from that back area and floating forward. There's Kiriakov. A great little player, that, a warrior. He snaps at the heels of players all the time, and there, the knee of Balakov, who'd be a professional footballer. Well, I'd be if I got their money, but they do get occasional bangs like that make you wonder. Anyway, the Germans, for all that they've been battering at that defense, have nothing to show for it. No scoring at half-time. Why were the Germans, after all that territorial advantage that they had? And really sometimes great quality possession in front of goal. Slack finishing. Best chance of the game, of course, fell to Stefan Kuntz, and he may live to regret it yet. Well, in terms not of qualifying for England, of course, but maybe missing out on topping the group. Played forward by Babel. It's been a rather mechanical performance by the Germans. I certainly faulted them for their efforts in front of goal, but their build-up has been effective. They've been running well from the back. I think especially Thomas Helmer seeking freedom and getting it a lot. Jürgen Kohler, by the way, didn't come on at the start of this half. I did say right at the beginning there was a little bit of a doubt about him. He's had niggling injuries. He's no chicken, of course, now, Jürgen Kohler, 31, playing in his 78th game for Germany tonight. And a wonderful, wonderful player, but not getting any younger. So he's off. So is he, it looks like. Nice gentleman there, the German manager, that evokes, but he's always compared to the man in front of him, or the man before him, Franz Beckenbauer. It's a better ball, Kostadinov. Oh, Stoichkov! How do you like that? He's done nothing all night. That's what you might describe as economy of effort. He's had about 3 passes, 2 kind of runs at goal that were just faint efforts. 1 shot that went nowhere, and then he pops up like that 2 minutes into the second half with that kind of clinical finish. Very neat play by Kostadinov in the first place. 1 touch and away it goes. Textbook for any youngster watching it. Head over the ball and boom. And the European Footballer of the Year might well celebrate that. I think we'll see a German fight now. Towards the end of the first half, they were getting rather lethargic. I think eating into them was the thought that they were already qualified. Well, of course, we're doing a lot of that in the first half and getting nowhere with it. But patience may count. Getting a little bit nasty. That's Matthias Sammer there. Matthias Sammer, the first former East German DDR player to play for the full side in Berlin. Nice and finding cross, headed away by Datilov. But Germans must be wondering what really hit them, because the Bulgarians never looked like scoring in this game. That early effort we saw by Kostadinov was about as near as they got. Klinsmann hovering. You can never take your eyes off that man, of course. A little bit untidy and scrappy at the back now by Bulgaria, but it's been effective for them. Point out the coach. Just wants them to be patient now. They've got that lead. That's very important. And they've been playing without Boris Mikhailov, the man who became very famous for his hair transplant just before last summer's World Cup finals. He's injured, can't play in the game, and with their younger goalkeeper, Popov, they've held out rather well. Almost had the words taken out of my mouth there. That was a neat free kick, carving in towards the near post. Hesitation there by Datilov. Klinsmann. Just give him a half chance, and you know what's going to happen. And whilst he took that exceptionally well, a bit of a tragedy for Zenko Datilov. Quick one there to Sammer, but the youngster playing in his first international for Bulgaria, just lacking a little bit of maturity going for this. He may have been blinded by the floodlights. Look at the apprehension about the way he goes for that. Seemed to take his eye off the ball, and then came the great predator. Just gets his control to that side of him, and there was never any doubt where that would finish. An air of relaxation now. Sammer beginning to come forward. Free kick. And I think the change of tactic there in getting Matthias Sammer, the sweeper, to make longish runs has paid off there, as he picks the ball up and then slipped it through there to Stefan Kuntz. The free kick was inevitable. Sammer is a great player. He of course went to Italian football, then came back to Borussia Dortmund. Never really settled in Italy. Now, I wonder if Thomas Hessler, the pint-sized player, will step up to take this. I've seen him score some beauties before, notably against the CIS in this competition. He's done it again, would you believe? Well, I'll bet that crowd feel like invading the field now to greet that little man. I think he surprised everybody, and me included. I think I did imagine he was going to go for the chip. He decided against that. And so 56 minutes gone, and he puts him in the lead. Scored a glorious last-minute goal against the CIS in the last European Championship. And of course, 6 years ago, to the very day, scored a goal against Wales, which qualified Germany for the World Cup. So the hero tonight, that player there, where to go again, just passed. And that really would have killed them off entirely. A little bit of space there for Mario Basler. Drags the defense along. There was nobody coming just inside of him. It was as well he tried it himself. Well, Stoichkov was the picture of delight, was he not? You saw it for yourselves very early on in this half. Another man who threatened to come on just before half-time now does come on. Kiriakov, here he comes. He'll buzz around a bit. He's a player kind of like Thomas Hessler. Doesn't have Hessler's finishing skills, but he gets around the field, makes neat passes, snaps in the tackles. Nice, neat play. Sama came forward there. Can he get a cut back? Away there by Datilov. Touched away from him. The Germans in full flood. Now, can he make anything of this? There's been hardly anything of the Bulgarians in the last 15 minutes. And Kostadinov has had some very hefty treatment indeed in this game. And that's what very often happens now in football if a man is left on his own up front. He's not only got to have skill and pace, he's also got to have considerable courage. Watch his tackle coming in. No way was he getting through. So the Germans now favourites to top the group. Sama puts that forward. In actual fact, looking back over the group and some of the games being played, I think this is the poorest Bulgarian performance I've seen. They played some marvellous games like that one where they won 3-2, of course. Oh, great, Struns. Surely he scores. No. It will be a penalty, though, I think. There can be little doubt about that. The Italian referee pointing immediately to the spot. And a yellow card there for Dimitar Popov. What a pity for the youngster. The new goalkeeper, as it were. He's had a marvellous night, making great saves. Oh, yes. Neatly scooping up the ankle. Watch it. Oh, he got the toe, in fact. So, he might not play in the first game in England, but there he goes. Once again, his 9th goal of the tournament. And my, how they'll miss him. Whatever their opening game is in England, they will miss that man. Now 3-1. 74 minutes, with 75 minutes gone, almost 76. And the game is now well out of touch of Bulgaria. Making it look simple again. Well, they're picking up better balls in midfield now, but I think it's the Germans have really not so much given up, but just quietly contented now, playing well within themselves. And once again proving, as I said earlier on, they get it all right on the night. Never dismiss the German side. German crowd bursting into song. They were rather phlegmatic to, well, halfway through that first half when things weren't quite going the way. That surely is offside. Now into stoppage time. And Bertie Vogts will be relieved to hear the final whistle. It's been a long, hard trail for him. He's suffered a lot of criticism. There's some people still think he's not up to the task of actually winning a major prize, pointing out to the failures near the end of the World Cup. And the Bulgarians, well, they've had a very disappointing evening. I cannot believe they'll play like this in England. I've seen them so often during the past 18 months in the games, really turning on the style, and I think it was the persistence of their play. They were very, very good in midfield, and when you've got great attackers like Kostadinov, Stoichkov and Penev, you're about to score goals. They haven't tonight, except for that counter by Stoichkov. No more than that. And no more than the Germans were due this victory. It came to them the hard way, but eventually they got there, and there's the man who scored a couple of goals. As I said, his 9th in the tournament. He'll be more than mildly disappointed, and he'll realize it himself that he misses out in that opening game in England. Matthias Sammer, the man who engineered the free kick from which Thomas Hessler scored that impudent free kick.